Let's call to order the Parks Board meeting of Monday, May the 22nd. If you'll bow your head with me, we'll have a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here tonight, Lord. Let everything that we say and do be pleasing to you. Just clear our minds. Thank you for your mercy. In His name we pray, amen. Oh, okay, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Golden, will you do that for us, sir?
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, thank you, sir. I would have missed that. Okay, I will accept a motion to approve the agenda. Mr. Head first, Mr. Golden second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, thank you very much. I think we have a citizen's comment. Mr. Edwards. If you'll push that button in front of you there.
Yes, I appreciate your time. I'm Russ Edwards, the Hendersonville City Judge, and was recently an alderman up here. I came here tonight to, I am the city judge, but I'm not making any decisions tonight. Y'all are the ones making a decision, well, at least it's on the agenda for discussion of the hours of the Mary's Magical Place. I want to speak just briefly. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. But to speak in favor of this, I would like to thank Alderman Garza, who is now one of my aldermen, for advocating for these special needs hours at Mary's Magical Place. I think it's very important to have this, and I would like to thank the mayor for pushing for this forward as well. And I'd like to thank Mr. Gilley as well as the Parks Board members and staff for taking this into consideration. I have a special needs son, and I know there's some board members on here who have some special needs family members, and I'm very involved in the special needs community, and I can tell you that there's a lot of members of the special needs community who do support this and want some special needs hours at Mary's Magical Place. I think what the mayor has put forth is very reasonable, that it would be I think he proposed 2 days a week, a pilot program of 8 o'clock in the morning to 9, when Mary's Magical Place opens at 8 o'clock anyway, and to dedicate those to special needs families. Maybe you could call them special hours, but maybe to give that a shot and see if it works. It wouldn't be the answer to all the issues that the special needs community faces, but I think it would be a good gesture on behalf of the city to show that the city does care for the special needs community, and we're willing to try to help out, because there are a lot of issues with special needs families not feeling. It gets very crowded there in the summers, and a lot of them have a lot of anxiety and other issues and they don't like to be at a very crowded place. And this would at least tell them that we have these hours for them set aside, and it doesn't have to be someone actually there to monitor. Maybe there can be just a sign put out that this is reserved for special needs families. Nobody's going to be there to enforce it or kick somebody out, but it would show that we are setting aside that time. So, and I'm going to stick around for the discussion if you have any questions, but I'm strongly in favor of this. I think it would be good overall for the city. And I do want to thank all of you for your time and dedication to this board and trying to make this city and this Parks Department a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evers. I'm big on that. If you ever got a chance to hang out with special needs people, it's a blessing. It certainly is. All right, I will accept a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting. Mr. Bowler, second Mr. Perry. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Did you get that, Mr. Gilley? Thank you. Old business, Mr. Parks Projects, Mr. Gilley.
Just a note, Mr. Chairman, on everybody's agenda, the minutes were April 24th's minutes, not March 27th. So I think I'll make a note of that in the minutes of this meeting. But they're correct in the packet, just on the agenda page. I think we'll be okay with that. project update, the restroom fire we had at Mary's Magical Place. We finally got all the approvals from insurance, and they finally, actually today, sent the declaration. The city will be getting a check back for about $14,000 from insurance to help cover those damages. As of right now, the finance department has told us we needed to do those repairs from within our current operating budget. So I've asked them, and I'm gonna ask COO if we can have that $14,000 appropriated into our parks budget for FY24 to do some things with. That could do a lot of good in different places if we're able to repair it ourselves out of this year's budget and maybe take that money forward. So I'll keep you updated on that. Wind damages, we're working our way through it. We met today as a staff. We still have about 40 repairs left to do. Slowly but surely working our way through and it's repairs from $400 to $29,000 repairs. So bear with us on those if you continue to see, especially trees. If you continue to see trees that may be damaged, every time now we have a windstorm, we are seeing more and more trees fall or limbs that are in bad spots. So help us if you see those. During the month of June, we'll be, during the soccer shutdown period, we're going to put down about 40,000 square feet of new sod in the soccer complex and at Volunteer Park. That'll be about a $30,000 investment on the city's part, and another $3,500 coming from the lacrosse tournament via the tourism office to help with sod replacement. Today, if you were driving by Country Hills, you might have seen some guys having a lot of fun on some big equipment. They started the demo of the cart barn out at Country Hills today, so that is a step forward. We hope to start the rebuild in a couple of weeks. A long time coming and a much needed project there. Rugby restrooms, we opened bids last May the 11th. Bids for site work came in about $100,000 more than expected, so we're going back to probably going to go back out to rebid those and make some adjustments and see what some people in the community can help us with on that. Still hopefully on track to have those installed by this fall. Pickleball, we have a meeting this Friday with the design consultant to kick off design on that project. Expected construction over the summer into the fall. And the grant for turf soccer and lights at rugby is moving forward. We are about to submit our design plans to the state. As soon as they approve them, we'll go out to bid, and the goal will be to have that under construction over the fall and winter of the coming year. Any questions? That was a long update.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Director Gilley, you were talking about the 40 or so repairs from wind damage.
Yes, sir.
I believe I heard that the president or the governor has designated funds for damages. Would the city qualify for reimbursements or?
Great question. First I've heard of that, so I will be glad to. I don't know who to ask, but I will be glad to ask.
Okay, thanks for
I
looking
can
into
ask,
that.
Jesse to look into that for us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm an old guy, so I forget a lot of stuff, but I want to, Mr. Gilley sent an email about this nice lady that really just was very glowing about our park system and what they did and all of that stuff. Anytime I get one of those, I go in and share that with my Facebook people. The more we can get stuff like that out, the better off we're going to be. And I'm sure you probably do it anyway, but I would appreciate that happening. Thank you, Mr. Gilley. Under new business, Elite Sports Football Camp. Mr. I'll call you Glenn.
Thank you.
Hi, Glenn.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right, bud. State your case.
Okay, we're the company Elite Sport Camps and Combines. We're based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We host fundamental football camps as a non-contact camp, specifically for big boys, for offensive and defensive linemen ages 8 through 18. I actually played at the University of Pittsburgh from 88 through 92 and then played in Seattle for a couple years after that. So I've been around for a while. We partner with the NFLPA and a lot of former players who come out and help lead these initiatives. We've been coming to Knoxville, Tennessee for the past 7 years, most recently the last 2 years at Farragut High School. And, we're looking to transition to Nashville. Last year we did a camp in Paducah, Kentucky, so we drove through Nashville to make that 10-hour drive. And when we got there, we said, wow, why did we pass Nashville? So in the product, we start taking a look and looked at the facilities that Hendersonville had. We didn't know that there was a dead period as of July 1 during the state of Tennessee for high school. So high schools were out of the picture from actually hosting it on their campus. So as we began to do our due diligence, we came across your facilities and would like to host our camp at your Parks and Rec.
I think we've lost Glenn here, have we not?
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I'm here. No problem.
All right, questions? Let's see on your application, 75% is going to charity. I'm assuming the other 25 is operations, or what is that?
That is correct. That is correct. Operations, coaches, travel. We give the kids T-shirts when they come to the camp. So as a part of those expenses, we partner with a nonprofit called STEM Athletics that offers tutoring weekly, 2 days a week for math and science for our kids. Unfortunately for me, this isn't my day job. My day job, I'm area manager for Lennar Homes. We built about 1,900 homes in the Charlotte market. So that's my day job, but football is my passion. I was afforded college education through academics and athletics, and both of my boys did as well. My son Elijah graduated from Duke in 20. My younger son just graduated from the Citadel this past spring. So we feel devoted to have to give back, just using football as a vehicle to just get those kids' attention and let them know that academics and athletics put together, you can make some things happen.
Okay. Mr. Golden? Oh, I thought, go ahead.
No, I make a motion to approve.
Yes, sir. Mr. Golden's first, Ms. Hellman second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, baton twirling proposal, Ms. Holland? There she is.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm traveling and trying to make sure this is working right. Hi, my name is Brandy Holland, and I've taught baton twirling for a while, and I moved here in July, and I am super excited to possibly be bringing baton twirling to Hendersonville. I'm a third grade teacher throughout the day, but then baton twirling has been my passion. I've been twirling since I was 3. And that's just something that I love to do when I teach twirling lessons. I like to bring it out to the community events. I've taken twirling to different parades, and then when the opportunity brings itself, I've loved to take twirlers to competitions, and actually eventually, if you've seen some of the football teams around, that there's many teams that have twirling lines that like to twirl for half times, and sometimes that presents itself as a college scholarship. So
Okay.
that is something that I love to bring to
Everybody
our area.
hear her well enough to,
I'm sorry, what was that?
didn't really hear her very well. I don't know that we can make a decision here. Can you hold on just a second?
Yes.
No, keep talking. It's on your end. Sorry.
Sorry, we're traveling. I'm kind of cutting in and out, I think.
All right, in your big booming voice, state your purpose one more time, ma'am.
Yes, I would like to propose to bring baton twirling to the Hendersonville area.
So this will be an ongoing class. When will this occur, and from when to when?
I'd like to propose to start in June and then go through August and see how the community takes up to baton twirling. And start with one time a week. Go for
Okay.
once a week to start with.
I can help with that a little bit. Miss
Go
Holland
ahead,
has come and met with us twice, and we tried to get her to this point. Basically, she's wanting to kind of go through the summer and see how it goes. And then, since she's proposing to do it at the hockey rinks, obviously, once hockey season starts, we have to kind of look and see what facilities we actually have available. But for now, we're looking at once per week at the hockey facility through the summer. And really, she's done a good job submitting this program proposal, similar to when we had Camp Gladiator come before you all, and Fit for Mom and other program type things. We really don't have, in terms of like a financial mechanism, we kind of work it out basically at this point. We're going to probably have to work on something for these type programs that's more official. But she would be making a donation to the Inline Hockey Association for the use of the rinks for her class.
Okay. Any more questions? Motion to approve by Mr. Head, motion to pass Mr. Head, second was who? Mr. Bowler. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Can you teach an old guy to twirl?
Sure can.
That's my banker.
That's his baton twirler, Colin.
Okay, I'm signing up right there, so, thank you, ma'am, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
All right, a step ahead summer bring back, Mr. Sane.
Oh,
Miss
yes,
Sane.
Christie?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yes. It's okay. That's okay. Yes, so my name is Christy Sane, and I am manager of patient relations, client relations with a Step Ahead Orthotics and Prosthetics. And we are looking to, on August 19th, say around 9 to 1, to host an event, a summer bring back event for our company at Mary's Magical Place. We figure since most of our kids are in orthotics, or some even have prosthetics, this will be a nice place for them to be able to come and play safely, and plenty of big place to host what we're wanting to do. Dealing with the special needs kids that we have as our clients, we wanted to do some fun and easy type carnival games, easy enough for all of them to participate in. Also have maybe a couple bouncy houses for sibling play, food trucks. We have a live band that has signed up to play. I am hoping, since this is our first event, that we'll have around 100 families come. That would be absolutely ideal. And again, I know I heard the gentleman earlier talk about him being a special needs dad. I'm also a special needs mom. So I know how important this park would be to the kiddos at Hendersonville, and how disappointed they would be if this was a closed event. So we do not in any way, shape, or form want this to be a closed event to just Step Ahead. I would love for the park to remain open and let us be able to use just a piece of it and invite any of the families around Hendersonville to come and still play and grab some food and just have a good time. We're doing a rebranding of our logo and just kind of some new things, and we thought it would just be a fun way to kind of do some different things that our company hasn't done in the past. Get our families together, let our families meet. I think being a special needs mom, it's always important for our families to be able to bounce ideas off of each other and have that camaraderie. So again, August 19th, we would love to be a part of Mary's Magical Place.
What green space are we looking at for that?
So we are looking at this space either beside the playground or the old hockey rink site to the right of the playground for them. They're really not asking to reserve anything. The reason why this is before you is because it involves food trucks, a band, and a lot of things going on. They could have just showed up and brought their people to the playground, but I appreciate her doing this. Because definitely we would have wanted to know this was going on. But when you start bringing a band, you got to get a sound permit. When you have food trucks, you got to work through Wade to get the vendor permits. So that's why it's before you all. And I appreciate her not requesting to shut down the playground for this event on a Saturday.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a no-go.
Do we have any way of getting rid of this echo? Okay, well. Okay, vote. Shut up. Okay, I'm good. Any question? Do I hear a motion to approve? Mr.
I'd like to make a
Perry's
motion, we approve it as long as it's Hellman said with the parks guys and the staff.
I'm sure that was a motion. Ms. Hellman, second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So basically, there's 10 of us. Okay, good enough. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, yoga with Callie, Miss Wheeler. Over there. Make sure your little button's pushed and you'll be famous.
Okay, hello. My name is Kaylee, and I'm offering yoga with Kaylee. I am an ex-gymnast, a competitive gymnast in my younger years, and I'm originally from Dallas, so I did that for 8 years, and then I did competitive springboard diving in high school, and I've done various forms of dance throughout the years. But I started my yoga journey in 2014. I've had 2 back surgeries, and I have found that yoga has helped me the most out of anything that I've ever done in my whole life. So it's really changed my life for the better. But this year, I decided to go through yoga school. And so I just completed that in March. But my background is a gymnastics coach. I coached competitive and non-competitive kids, ages 18 months all the way to 12 years old for 15 years. I started teaching when I was 15, and then I stopped doing that when I was about 30. We started moving for my husband's work, and we've moved twice now, and we've found Tennessee to be our new home. Which I love, by the way. So we live on the Walton Ferry Peninsula by the lake, and so I'm discovering lake life, which is kind of what brought me to this place of wanting to team up with the city and hopefully offer yoga to the community. I have a job currently working with Small World Yoga. It's in Nashville. It's a non-profit organization, and they go to churches and daycares and different places, and they teach yoga to the community. They have studios as well, but it's an outreach program, so they're reaching people on a different level, which is what I'd like to do here with you all. I think that yoga being brought to anyone and making it more accessible is a way to go. I believe doing it outside, possibly by the lake, would be phenomenal to just have something other than a studio setting. I think that gets kind of boring and monotonous after a while, and it's expensive. And so I personally am looking to do something outdoors. We discussed the parks, and I think we discussed Beatty Farm and some other places, and just a grassy knoll to have our yoga mats and bring our towels and water bottles, and maybe once to twice a week offer yoga to the community and charge half the price of what a studio would offer. So they're doing it between like $20 and $30 for a one-time lesson, and I'm looking to do it at $15. So the rest of the money would just go back into my business for business expenses. And I think we decided upon a $500 fee once a year to go back to the parks for using the facilities. So I'm looking at doing vinyasa yoga. It's connecting breath to movement, and it builds heat within your body. So it's good for stretching, flexibility, coordination, also sorts of different things. So, and it's good for everyone. I'd like to start offering it to adults first, and then if it goes well this year, maybe we could offer it to the children next summer, maybe do a summer camp or something along those lines. So just getting the wheels going, but I think just starting this direction, teaching adults once or twice a week would be our basis to go on.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I didn't use any of my index cards, but just winging it.
Questions? We knew you were coming, so the staff put together money for me to do this, just to watch you.
I did.
So,
Mr. Chairman, when Kaylee first came to us, we talked about Sanders Ferry Park, and I kind of let her know that that is a process that we have to go to the Corps and get approval and come to Bowman and get like an agreement. So we're gonna work on that over the next couple months to get her on some of our property that's by the lake, maybe, if this all works out. That's a longer process, but we wanted to come up with a way where we could get this going immediately, so we had to identify some parks that we owned, not the Corps. Because basically what it amounts to would have been her running a business on Corps property, which is an approval process that I hate dealing with, but it's a necessary evil. But she has we're going to work with her, if this is approved, to get some time at the hockey rinks and at the Heritage Park. And she mentioned her donation split between Hockey Association and the Friends of Indian Lake Peninsula. Okay. And Keith has already asked for a summer membership as well. For yoga
Yeah,
class.
both days a week, if y'all don't mind.
Any more questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Golden first, Mr. Head second. Any more questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Good luck.
Thank you.
How's your back? Is it?
It's actually great. Yeah, I have scoliosis, so when I was 16, I had 2 titanium rods fused to my spine. And so they brought it up too high in my neck, and they had to remove part of it. But being a gymnast, I've always been active and always done something, fitness like. And then I decided to go into real estate, which was a mistake because I sat the whole time. And so now that's why I'm switching gears and going back into the fitness industry.
Listening to what you said, I assume that people with back problems would really benefit from this.
Anyone does. Blood pressure, it lowers your blood pressure. It's good for stress, good anxiety reducer. It's good for everything.
Can we bring pizza? Never.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Outlaw Dangle Fest, that scares me a little. Mr. Toddy?
Good evening, folks. Yeah, sorry. I mean, we can sign you up for the Dangle Fest, but you got to get a hockey stick there. Jonathan Toddy, I'm currently the vice president of Henderson Inline Hockey Association. I will be your president starting on June 1st, whenever Dave Gilliam steps down. But I would like to propose to have my own hockey tournament October 27th through the 29th. We would play from 9 a.m. up until 10:30 in the evening. I think Andy said that he was going to meet me over there at 4 a.m. to help me clean the rinks, and I'm going to show him the ropes on that so he can become a semi-professional Zamboni driver, weekend warrior. But I've been playing hockey for 30 years, been coaching hockey over at HIHA for probably 5 years now. I currently help over there a lot, and yeah, love to have a tournament.
And just so everybody's aware, this is, even though he is donating money back to Hendersonville Inline, this is not a Hendersonville Inline event per se. This is for, but correct me if I'm wrong, this is for your travel team, right?
That's correct. Yes, we have a Outlaws program that we want to grow, and currently we have an 8, a 10, and an adult team that we'd like to expand. So we want to be able to raise money for us for jerseys, for entry fees, not only for here but also surrounding areas. So this would be not through HIHA. This would be completely separate. Insurance would be purchased separate, etc.
So that's why we have him here tonight. That's why we went through this process, as this is almost like a completely different tournament, even though we know him.
Under the fee, yeah, where is the money going? I mean, I understand it's going to what you're doing here, but how does the city get reimbursed for that? Or,
The city's going to get $100 per team donated back to HIHA out of that fee, out of the entry fee that we do for the tournament. So let's say that we have
Mr. Gilly,
60
would that meet
teams,
our
it'd be six,
guidelines, sir?
Sure,
60 times 100.
yeah, he'll be paying the regular rental fee that a regular tournament would pay on the rinks. He'll get invoiced by the city, and then he's, on top of that, gonna be donating $100 per team to HIHA, which is
Got it.
a pretty good deal.
Jonathan, can you mention the ages again of the teams?
Yeah, so it's going to be anywhere from 6 and under termites all the way up to adults. And there'll be multiple divisions depending on how many different teams that we can have. So there may be a AA division, a single A division, but it will be ages from 6 all the way to 50 or 60, whoever wants to show up and play club.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Head, second, Mr. Perry. Ms. Hellman was almost in there. She was jumping, I'm telling you. Any more questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
The Parks Board gets one free entry fee, so if you guys want to put together a team, I'll help you there.
All right, reserving pavilion at Mary's Magical Kingdom, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the right, if you are facing Mary's Magical Place, to the right of the playground is a pavilion that when the rinks were built, was kind of excluded from the, not when the rinks, when the playground was built, was excluded from the design because we had 2 hockey rinks over there. And that pavilion was used for the hockey league to have whatever they need to do in there. Most of the time it's used as a changing room for the players, honestly. Since the hockey rinks have gone away, we have requests all the time for reserving the shelter that's actually inside the playground right now. It's a very small little pavilion, but we have refrained from doing that because that is a place where we have noticed that a lot of grandparents or other people go to sit and get in the shade and be away from things. So we've not really ever reserved that one. It's kind of been first come, first served, but our proposal, since the maintenance staff has done some cleanup over there, they've done some painting, our proposal is going to be to we're going to kind of redo the fence if this is approved and make the shelter that's to the right of the playground now part of the playground, and that one we would add to our offerings online for people to reserve. I feel like it will probably be reserved quite a bit for birthday parties, just whatever people we have. I've never seen so many people reserve shelters as I have this year, so I feel like that'll be a hot commodity. We would just ask your blessing to add it to our offerings, and we've suggested a rental rate that's the same as Shelter 8 at Sanders Ferry of $30 an hour. Also, note, this was Jesse's idea in a meeting we had, that potentially we would ask BOMA to consider any rental fees that come from this shelter to go towards the Mary's Maintenance Fund. And what we would do is we can track those throughout the year, and during the mid-year budget, we can go in and ask that specific amount go to Mary's Place. That's a little atypical. A lot of times, the city will refrain from doing like this is what the fee came, let's put it in this line item, but this is a little different case, I think, probably.
Mr. Gilly, this is a structure that's already in place, so we're not adding anything new.
That's correct. The only thing we're going to do is reroute the fence to make it actually part of the playground. We're going to enclose it. We didn't want people to rent the shelter and then have to go all the way around to the front. And we really didn't want to put in another new gate either that would have to be unlocked and locked all the time.
I think it's a great idea, yeah. Questions? Ms. Hellman, do you have anything to say? No, make a motion to approve. Ms. Hellman makes a motion. Ms. Bowler, second. Any more discussion? Mr. Golden?
Andy, do we need to put in the motion about where the fee goes to the maintenance fund? Or is that-
You can't really, designate where it goes. You could put it as part of your motion to recommend that it goes to Mary's maintenance fund if you so chose. But at the end of the day, BOMA would have to make that designation throughout the year.
Would you like to alter your motion to?
I would like to recommend
Okay,
the
all
maintenance of Mary's Magical Lake.
right, thank you. And the second was Mr. Bowler. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Discussion of hours of operation at Mary's Magical Kingdom, Mr. Clary.
The mayor's at a meeting in Gallatin, actually, requesting funds for Exit 8 from the county commission. So we wish him Godspeed with that.
Yes, sir.
Hope they give us a lot of money. So I told him I would speak on this. We've met multiple times with multiple groups for multiple years to discuss this proposal. What you have in your packet is a proposal to make designated hours on Sundays at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Wednesday mornings from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the months of June and July to see how it would go. There is no way we're not going to clear out the playground.
No.
We're not going to tell people they can't come in. We're not going to ask people if they're allowed to be in there. The mayor has requested that we would staff it. We will do the best we can to get our program supervisors there to be there to do nothing more than hand out information about what's going on. We will put signage throughout the playground stating what the hours are that we're talking about. There are pros and cons and people for and against doing something like this. I definitely understand. I've told people many times I am Switzerland on the issue. But I'm not opposed to trying to see what goes on. Obviously, like I said, we're not going to go in there at 6 o'clock on Sunday night and tell people they have to leave. And it could be very crowded over there at 6 o'clock on Sunday nights, or there may be nobody there. I feel good about 8 o'clock on Wednesday mornings. There it is.
Questions out there? Mr. Bowler?
Yeah, so not any questions. You know, the playground was built as all-inclusive, and I don't think this does anything to impede that. We're talking about 4 hours a week. I am for this, and I will make a motion to approve.
Okay. Second, Mr. Head. I'm like you. I appreciate it's hard to do either way, but I think this is an effort toward that end. Any more discussion?
Yeah,
Who was second? Mr. Head was second. Any more discussion?
yeah, a couple of points. I think this is absolutely going in the right direction. The long-term fix of this is that all of our parks are inclusive and able to be used by members of this community. I speak from my own experience. I have a special needs child who, when he was young, we could not use this park because it was too overwhelming, because it was incredibly popular, which is a wonderful problem to have as a city. So I'm very empathetic of the challenge. The challenge we have is that we have a lot of families who their children would love to use this park, but they do not come. And so we have built an inclusive park that is, in a way, because of its popularity, not inclusive, just in its use, not by any design. It's just how it is. And I think what this allows us to do is to re-engage with a very important community to say, look, here's a time, and you can bring your son or daughter. And I think that nothing can be more important than that. But I want to underline that the long-term way that you address this problem is by having more inclusive parks all across the city, not just having one that a group of our citizens can really use. So, again, I am very much in favor of this.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? There you go, Mr. Gilly, or Mr. Mayor. Park budget discussion, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, sir. In your packet, starting with page 32, basically I took out the pages from the 100-page park document, the city document, and put in here just what was related to parks. I'm not going to go line by line. Here's what I would tell you. The parks budget, operationally, I appreciate the mayor and Jesse putting together something that I think we can operate with. There was some increases in places that needed increasing. One thing, if you really were studying it, you would see the maintenance of parks line item is increased a lot. That is twofold. One of it is an increase to maintain the soccer fields, and the other one is taking what over the past 4 years had been around 30 to 35,000 in a special project line to resurface tennis courts and putting that in the actual operation budget. So that will be on us as a staff to just from the get-go kind of pull out 30 grand from that line item and make sure it's designated to tennis courts resurfacing, which we've made a priority. The projects, I'm not gonna lie, I think I requested about 9 projects. There's one in there for top dressing all the grass athletic fields. And basically as a city, there are no other projects in there. So if that tells you where we are as a revenue expense state of the city, that ought to tell you where we are. We're lucky to have even one project in there, based on the fact that there are no others. I think actually there is one other. There are some carried forward projects from the last couple of years that are continually budgeted for, but those funds have already been appropriated. There are no new employees in here. There is a proposed 6% cost of living for employees, which we really appreciate. And this will have to go through 2 readings of BOMA, which the first one is tomorrow night. Your job, I say this every year, your job as a Parks Board is not to approve or disapprove the budget. Your job is to vote to either recommend or not recommend, or recommend with any desired changes that you would like to see. If anybody has any questions, I'm glad to discuss it.
Mr. Gilly, am I seeing am I reading the special events accurately in that none of our special events?
So what the
expenses.
proposal is right now is to remove special events from the parks budget and put it in the newly created actual lodging tax fund, if you will, and for hotel motel tax to cover all of our proposed events that we actually are contributing funds to. There's a list on here of about 20 events, and we have over 200. A lot of them we don't contribute any funds to. These are some that we do for the community, some that we recruit to come in, things that we have to help with. But all of them tourism-related items or items that we feel are great for the community, obviously. But there are 100+ events that we contribute nothing to as a city that do nothing but bring in hundreds of softball and baseball teams or hockey or rugby or lacrosse and bring in a lot of sales tax revenue that we don't spend any money on. And where you see on that page 44 that you probably were looking at, where you see proposed revenues, a lot of these will not have a dollar that they bring back into the city because they're like our Parks Board Wall of Fame dinner. That's a great event that we put under our special events budget, but that's not bringing in revenue to the city. But I think it's an important one that we keep doing. Yes, hope that answered your question. What it does not, I'll just use the Game 7 World Series for example. Proposed revenues of proposed expenditures 3,500, proposed revenues in fees back to the city 2,500. I would say that there's over 100,000 or more economic impact and sales tax that goes directly to the city that we can't account for dollar for dollar.
Any more questions? Thank you for putting all that together, Mr. Gilly. All right, for your information, special events.
I need you to vote on that, to recommend it, one way or the other.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion, we recommend this budget to Bowman.
Okay, Mr. Head made the motion. Mr. Perry was second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Now, thank you, Mr. Gilly. Special events list, you can look that over if you have any question about what's happening in our park, page 45 and 6 and 7 ought to tell you a whole lot about it, I tell you. A lot of stuff going on in our parks that Mr. Gilly has already mentioned, the fact that the economic impact of everything on those pages is good for Hendersonville. So. All right, disciplinary correspondence. I see that was kind of stout, wasn't it, Mr. Gilly? Unwarranted player there, I think. Page 48.
Yes, that's a good one. That one doesn't happen every day.
Do what?
That one doesn't happen every day, an ineligible player.
All right. All righty.
Yeah, that one was a big mess, as far as understanding what youth sports supposed to be about. I did like the action that the soccer club took, so I'm satisfied with that.
Hate to have to see it, though. All right, staff reports. Recreation Coordinator, Ms. Hamlin. Saw you snuck in there under the wire.
Yes, I did.
Good job by you.
Thank you very much. Raptors baseball just ended, and we had a pretty good season. We did have a few times we had weather issues, so we did play. We're supposed to start kickball Friday night, but we kept it as baseball, and then we were going to start kickball on Saturday morning, but then again we got rained out. So kickball will begin this week with the Raptors. Kids Club will be at Winton Elementary. Dates are June 12th through July 14th. Pre-registration has already taken place. We are full as of now, and we have begun a waiting list for those that want to get in. I've been hiring some camp counselors for the Special Needs Club program. Their dates again will be June 5th through July 14th to work. They'll be working basically 8 to 2 p.m. I'm looking forward to getting to know all the new workers and getting them all together and setting up for camp. And then the Special Abilities Fishing Rodeo will take place on Friday evening at 5 o'clock on June 9th, and that will be in place of our ball game that we normally do. We'll just go over there and do fishing. Any questions, concerns?
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
You're dealing with a very special part of the city. I appreciate it. Recreation Coordinator, Mr. Fugate. You are down there, aren't you? Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Adult kickball, their tournament and championship game is this Friday. Adult softball is still in their regular season with 3 weeks left of their regular season. Fall ball registration starts May 29th for 6U through 12U. The same date for quick ball will be offered for 6U. And then co-ed kickball and softball registration starts June 12th. And that's it.
Question? Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Special Events Supervisor, Mr. Evans, the svelte, Mr. Evans, by the way.
Yeah, I'll start with a quote for you. Decide what you are, what you want, and how you want to express yourself by the way you dress and the way you live. Gianni Versace. All right. If you didn't see, we had over 120 kids at our Nerf night. It was a very successful event. We will do it again in the fall. It worked really great over there at the hockey rink, the old hockey rink. But if you saw last weekend, we had the middle school state championship for softball and baseball. It was crazy getting it all done on Saturday, but we did maintenance. Dallas was texting me like 6:50 in the morning, so it was kind of all hands on deck to get it done. And even Game 7 came in on Sunday and played a couple games. So if you didn't see on the special event list, this is one of the crazier weekends. As far as if you look at the scope of what we have a half marathon, we have a fishing tournament, we have a softball tournament, a baseball tournament, a hockey tournament, a concert on Monday, and the Memorial 10K supporting the Crisis Pregnancy Center. So it's going to be a good week. And weather, but it looks really nice. So I'm excited. So come on out. Free tickets for the concert on Monday. Yeah. If anybody has any questions about any specific events, feel free to reach out. And also our concert on June 20th. Tickets are on sale right now. We got the Front Men of Country with members from Little Texas, Restless Heart. I almost said Restless Road. There's a band called Restless Road. It throws me for a loop. All the alliteration. And Lone Star. And Dina Carter, who is, so we got two other local, Julia Cole and Walker Montgomery. They're going to be there as well. So tickets are still on sale. If you need any help with that, feel free to reach out. I can help you with that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Any questions? Parks Maintenance Superintendent, Mr. Cole.
Yes, so we've got a couple of ongoing projects right now with security cameras. We actually just now got the football ones up, so, hopefully any incidents that occur there, we can, stop those as they go. Right there they are. 2 weeks from now, we're scheduled to get the ones over at Civitan, so we should have the majority of Drake's Creek taken care of. So hopefully, if there are any more incidents, we'll catch them and get it figured out. We've got a couple big concrete projects coming that we're actually waiting right now for the purchase orders to come back from finance. We are going to add a pad over by the tennis courts for a picnic area, and then at Volunteer, there's a total of, I think, 5 sidewalks going over there, a small little grill area for Jimmy, and then another picnic area going in over there. And then I think Wednesday is when Brandon's got it set up. The tennis courts are going to be resurfaced, so the courts 9 through 12 will get redone. So that's a much needed improvement. And then we've got the guys doing a little bit of tree trimming along the sidewalk areas going through the park. So if y'all notice anything, please let me know so that we can get it taken care of. And that's pretty much all we got going on right now.
How's the vandalism situation? Is it better, worse, or the same?
Knock on wood, we really haven't had any problems in the past few weeks besides with the football concession stand. It's been broken into on a pretty regular basis where the door's being kicked in. So hopefully we've got them on camera now, so hopefully that'll stop. Because
do we have a sign going in that says the park is under surveillance?
I do not believe so. We've talked about putting them in. We just have not done it to this point.
It'd be a good idea because it scared me off, I think.
Well, I hope it does.
There you go.
So.
There you go. Questions?
We actually have Ori hanging out over there on Saturday and Sunday nights. That's where he's been sleeping. So just give you a heads up.
Smart aleck. Thank you, Mr. Cole. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Flag football, they'll finish up their season this week. They got rained out this past weekend, so championship night will be Tuesday and Thursday of this week. Rugby season is done. For the spring, they will host a pretty large tournament mid-June, as they'll have kids coming from all over the Southeast to participate in that. Rec Soccer and Tennessee United, they finished up their season this past weekend. Adult League Soccer is still going on for about 3 more weeks. And then we'll also have a pretty busy next 3-4 weeks out at soccer. Next week we'll host the Tennessee United's tryouts. We'll host Lacrosse America's tournament. We'll host the high school soccer all-star game on the high school field. Then the following week, we'll host Tennessee United's camp, Hendersonville High School soccer camp, and Hendersonville High School's 3v3 soccer tournament. And then after that, on June 12th, we'll shut down the soccer complex for about 6 weeks for sod repair, and that'll open back up the last week of July. And then also currently, the Memorial Park is currently closed till mid-June for the light installs on the lacrosse field out there. So a lot going on the grass fields.
Questions? Thank you, Ms. Long. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First thing, hockey finished up, the regular season hockey finished up Sunday. Got rained out on Saturday and finished up on Sunday. The fast pitch, their regular season finished up, and they're doing tournaments this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So weather permitting, they will be done on Wednesday night. Civitan is a little bit further behind because of the more teams. So the Civitan baseball tournaments are ongoing, probably this week and probably after Memorial Day, a few days after that. Civitan Open teams are still playing their regular season games. They've still got a few more weeks left on that one. The senior men are up and going. They've had a couple nights of rains, working on reschedules with them, but overall, all 3 divisions going strong. Starting June the 1st, I believe that's next week, the Rhythm, the college baseball team, starts their summer season. They go June and July. They are the defending champs from last year, a walk-off home run. So they will be starting home and away games starting June 1st on Field 3 at Drakes Creek. Congratulations to Beach High School. A lot of weather issues last week, but Beach won the district softball tournament and then won one game in the region and got beat in the region. No, I'm sorry, they got beat in the sub-state game Friday night. So good run for them this tournament season. Camps are coming up, as Dallas mentioned, some of this other stuff, but baseball, the full count baseball camp and the Hendersonville High School baseball camp are in June, and also the Hendersonville softball camp will be in June. So it'll be a busy month, and we also have a lot of tournaments, baseball and softball on the weekends. Seems like we just about have 2 a weekend nowadays. So do a good job of the maintenance guys keeping up with all that the last month or so. So thank you, sir.
Questions? I'd like to congratulate Mr. Bruce on 25 years service to the city. Very proud of that.
Thank you, sir.
I've got a signed autographed kickball that I'm going to bring in.
Thank you.
No problem. Parks Director, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, sir. Keith mentioned camps. We have a whole section on our website, Hendersonville Parks website, where people can go to look at not only things we offer as a Parks Department, but we try to keep it updated with all the camps that the schools and other things are offered on there. People are always calling us, wanting to know when certain camps are. We don't, as a staff, host a lot of camps, but we certainly have a lot of people in the community that use our facilities that host camps. So Dallas does a good job of keeping those updated along with other members of our staff. So if you're out there looking for a camp, something to do with the kiddos this summer, visit our website. Keith mentioned beach softball, also another team that uses our parks, and also one of our staff members, Coach Brandon Jones, has got his boys tennis team playing in the state tournament tomorrow in Murfreesboro. So we wish them good luck, and I believe Merrill Hyde and Station Camp Soccer going to the state tournament. So that's good for our area to do that and represent us, and we appreciate our partnership with the schools all the time. Jason brought up the cameras earlier on the screen for everybody to look at. I want to really just personally thank him for in the IT department as a whole for a lot of the work they're doing across our department in parks. They're helping at the golf course. They've really made a difference in some areas to help us. And Jason, we appreciate you being here every fourth Monday and manning the cameras back there. We mentioned the tennis court resurfacing that will be going on this week. Therefore, but there will be no open pickleball play on courts 9 through 12 this week. Once the courts are resurfaced, we'll put out a new schedule for June for open pickleball play that will move to courts 1 through 4 during the summer. So be on the lookout on the website for that. We've talked a couple times about the state middle school baseball and softball tournament. It was a phenomenal job by our office staff, a lot of the people sitting up here, and the maintenance staff who put in like a 15-hour day Saturday to get 1 or 2 fields ready for people from all over the state to play on. We're probably one of the only parks that played any games that didn't have turf Saturday. So that was a great job. I would hope that the TSSAA would have noticed that and would make us some sort of proposal to bring that tournament back here. Hopefully. We do a lot of good work with them. I think we proved our worth this weekend, so great job by our staff. Several things tonight. I mean, we had 2 things tonight. We've had other things approved recently where we've got community programs for the community that we don't have the staff to offer. We're in a unique situation with a city our size not having a community center. If you go to other cities, they have a community center. All these classes and things are offered in that community center. So we're trying to work with people that come to us with ideas and trying to figure out ways to offer them to the community, because as a community, there are things that we can't offer based on our staff and our facilities that we need help with. So these 2 things tonight are examples of those. Hopefully I can figure out a way to put something together that is a kind of a more formal way to get those approved and make sure it's very clear what the fee structures are and things like that. It's not really been a priority because it's not really been very often that people have come to us, but now we've had multiple people in the last few months start to want to do these community programs. So I may speak with some of you to get some input on that before I come up with something to bring forward. And the last thing, I am going to try to sit down with the mayor and Jesse and see if we can come up with ways that our office can handle some of the permits, like special occasion and sound permits, and even like a filming in the park permit that are not currently on the books anywhere in the city. We're getting more and more requests for a lot of different things that really are not covered anywhere in the city rules. Some of you may have saw some nuns playing volleyball yesterday at the volleyball courts. That was kind of it was a music video, and the volleyball courts were first come, first served, and they didn't want to reserve anything. They just wanted to show up and shoot a Lucas Nelson music video. So there was nuns playing volleyball, and Willie's son we'll see that on YouTube or something one day. But, we don't really have a film permit in the city. We kind of, if we're lucky, somebody will let us know they're going to do it, and then we bring it to you guys. So those are things that we're going to be working on over the next few months to try to kind of get some things locked down, I guess. Don't want to over-legislate, but just things where we know what's going on all the time. And to make it easy for people in the community to do business with the city. There's a lot of times that it's not very easy sometimes to get the right permits, and we want to make things as simple as possible. I am done preaching now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilly. Question? All right, round table, Mr. Head. Mr. Bowler. Mr. Perry.
Just real quick, thank those guys again. I was over there early the last few weekends on Saturdays and Sundays, and bottoms falling out, and come back up there about noon or 1, and you guys are playing because of you guys, you and your staff, those maintenance crew guys, they're the best. Thank them for us.
Mr. Golden. Ms. Hellman. Mr. Peterson.
Of course, I'll always add something. I hate that I missed the volleyball playing nuns. I'll have to look for that. And Wade, I think the only thing missing this weekend is maybe fireworks. You think you can fit that in? I want to thank the board for addressing special hours at Mary's Magical Place. I just wonder if 4 hours is enough. But I would like feedback from the families to see if these 2 days work. Maybe that schedule can be adjusted somewhat. I think it goes to BOMA tomorrow, No, it's done. Can Casey help us advertise the hours? And also, I appreciate you adding the rental for the pavilion, because that could help maybe offset the signage. I think it's $750 that the city needs to spend to let everybody know that there are special hours imposed at the park. So I think it should benefit everybody involved. So thank you all for doing that. And staff, again, I know y'all are exhausted, but man, y'all are, can I say knock it out of the park? That's so cliche, but I appreciate everything you do. We really appreciate all the hard work and effort that goes into bringing these teams and people into town. And so we really thank you, Director, for everything. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pike's not here, and Mr. Bowler's already kind of done it, but we'll applaud everybody on the staff and especially the maintenance people. You know, it's easy to sit here and talk about them, but they're out there mowing and cutting and sweating, and, you know, that's things that we don't do, so we need to appreciate them. I will accept a motion to adjourn. Mr. Golden, second, Ms. Hellman. She had to be in there, no discussion. All in favor, say aye. Out of here.